for you. Some of the exhibits had some stipulations as to construction and operational methods for these wells. They are not the only stipulations for operation on these wells, is that correct?
That's correct. All the permits identify that the company, if they accept the permit when it's issued, they have to also be compliant with all sections of the statute under 1509 and all applicable sections of rule under 1501.
Okay, so like when I read the operational stipulations, it says that it didn't say you're not allowed to put the brine over the hill, but obviously you're not allowed to put the brine over the hill. That must be covered someplace else.
The proper handling and or disposal are defined in both statute 1509 and 1501. The permit says that you must be compliant with those, which would identify how you handle or dispose brine.
Okay. It's been indicated that at the dump site at the D&L multiple company facility that it was brine that was dumped. Was it just clean brine that was dumped, or was it dirty water, any evidence of mud, items like that?
Yeah, brine is specifically defined in 01 as geologic saline formation water. We use the term brine generally to describe all fluid oil field waste. At the site where the dumping was witnessed out of the tanks, there was a combination of what would be defined as brine geologic formation water. We did field tests and analyticals through several laboratories, and it came back and was identified as that. There were also other liquid oil field wastes and solids and semi-solids. For example, muds. There was evidence of cuttings. So yeah, there was a variety of materials that went in. It wasn't just clean brine.
When the catch-all term brine is delivered to an injection well, is all the material that's injected or delivered necessarily suitable for injection?
No. In Ohio, the injection by function of the receiving formation cannot take solids. So most of the injection wells filter, settle, or otherwise separate solids or suspended materials from the injectate stream and then handle those solids as their own type of waste, but they don't go down the injection well.
Is there a documental procedure where the injection well operator would list what happens to these solids?
It's part of the waste stream. The waste stream generator is supposed to track and manifest all waste until its ultimate disposition. Many of the companies will manifest that any of the solids that they generate, they may handle them certain ways, and they'll manifest that they took them to an EPA-approved solid waste landfill.
Mr. Seifert seems surprised that any fluid would ever leave an injection well and go back to a holding tank facility. If an injection operator were to have dirty water that was not suitable for injection, would that be a product they may take back to another holding tank?
Some injection wells are not set up to be able to manage water that's not clear and free of suspended solids that are in it. So yeah, many injection wells, if they receive a load of water that isn't suitable for the processing that they have on hand, they'll be redirected someplace else.
If a company redirects that water and it is not properly disposed of at that time, who is liable for that improper disposal of that fluid?
It could be several. It could be the company that sent it away. It could be the original waste generator. It could be the hauler or the company that's doing temporary storage. It might depend on the situation, but there could be multiple people that are responsible for that water as it leaves.
Could it also be the injection well operator as well?
Yeah, if they ordered it away.
Okay.
If they contracted to have it taken away.
That's all I have for right now.
All right, Chief, I have a question. Has the division ever revoked a already granted permit before for an injection well? Is there any precedent?
I've only been chief for about a year and a half. So my involvement in the injection program would have been with the field staff that reviewed that. I had not, as chief for a year and a half, revoked an injection permit. I would defer to other division staff to get an appropriate answer for that.
I guess in your term so far, has there been any other cases where somebody has accepted brine from a non-registered transporter, and if so, what was the recourse on those cases?
I don't know. We have a lot of enforcement actions or actions that occur, and they don't necessarily go to a chief's order, and when they don't, I'm not involved with them on a daily basis. Staff, whether they be UIC staff or field enforcement staff, may handle those with their managers or the deputy chiefs that are associated with those programs.